Hi everybody, it's me Flavio Miguel and welcome to my channel. But maybe that's your first time over here. If that's the case, thank you so much for tuning in. In this video I'll be reviewing and demonstrating a foundation that I am very familiar with. It is a foundation that has been in the market for more than 30 years. I couldn't find the exactly launch date of this foundation. But like I told you, it's a foundation that I'm very familiar with. And I'm talking about the Studio Fix Fluid SPF 15 by MAC Cosmetics, alright? And you might be wondering, why am I gonna review this foundation only now if I am so familiar with? Well, because I really didn't think in review this foundation up to this moment, because I've been reviewing other foundations that has been just launched, like for example the Surreal Skin by Mario and the House Labs by Lady Gaga. And I just wanted to figure out how this foundation, that it's been my go-to foundation for so many years, it's performing next to the newly launched ones. So if you want to hear everything that I have to tell you about it and all the comparisons, then you should watch this video until the end, alright? But first, let me get one thing straight. This isn't a sponsored video, neither I got this foundation for free. I actually spend my own money because I want to give you the real deal. And no, I'm not enlisted in MAC Cosmetics PR team. This might change in the future, but for now, that's what you're gonna get. But what is that exactly that I'm going to be doing? I'll be evaluating the foundation on its coverage, finishing, wear performance, oxidation, transfer proof, waterproof, whatever proof they claim to have. I'll be also taking in consideration skincare benefits as well as the number of available shades and the price. And yes, I'll be checking if it's clean, cruelty-free and vegan. So we have a lot to talk about, so keep it up. So this is how the product looks like inside the packaging. They've changed the packaging throughout the years. Now you can very clearly see the color that you want to buy it. And also on the top, this is how it looks like outside of the packaging. Just very simple. The Studio Fix Fluid SPF 15 from MAC Cosmetics doesn't come with a pump. And the idea to sell this product without a pump, it's considering the environment. Why? Because, so the idea is that you would buy once your pump and you're gonna keep this pump to the next foundation, which is going to give you a sense of using a refill system. One of the things that people most forget is that you should not use the same pump to another foundation if it's not exactly the same color. Why? Because you're gonna change the color of your foundation. So that's one of the things, misconception that people have, like, oh, but I have already a pump at home. But if you have a pump with a color like this one, NW33, then you should keep this pump for the same color for the next bottle, alright? I'm gonna just tell a little bit about my own skin type and my preferred type of foundation. I do have a combined skin type with a T-zone, where the T-zone tends to have be more oily and the rest of the skin it's kind of more normal. My skin is dehydrated, and throughout the years this also tends to change when it's winter time, which is we're just finishing winter period here in the Netherlands. Because of the cold and radiators and heaters on, my skin tends to be even more dehydrated. When it's summer or when I'm in an environment with a higher temperature and more humidity, my skin tends to be a little bit more oily, but it's still dehydrated, so that you know. When it comes to choose a foundation for myself, especially for wear off camera, I prefer a foundation that is seamless, something that would offer me preferably a beautiful coverage, because then I can play with the beautiful aspect of the foundation, creating high coverage in places that I think I need it more, and places where I don't need it too much, I can make a more sheer coverage. I like, when it comes to finish, I like a natural matte finish. I don't like super matte towards the dry, and I don't like super dewy. Why? Because of my T-zone, otherwise in no time it's going to be all shiny and greasy, and that's not how I like to have my foundation, okay? But okay, again, now without any further ado, we're gonna go do it, okay? Well, first of all, it feels quite alright on your hand. Although it is glass, it is not too heavy, but it's not as light as, for example, the House Labs foundation from Lady Gaga and not as light as NARS Natural Radiant and not as light as Double Wear. So it does feel a little bit heavier on the hands, but not as chunky as Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation and the Surreal Skin by Makeup by Mario, which I found both quite chunky on the hand. But again, you're gonna have, like I told you, the number of color over here. There's a description with some claims already on the side of the foundation. It's called 24 Hours Wear Beautiful Full Matte Coverage, Oil Shine Control. Well, these are few of the claims. I do know that they have more claims than only this one. This foundation comes with an SPF 15, as you can see it here, as well as it in the box. I think I've already shared my opinion about SPF into a foundation. I think it can give a false sense of protection because, as we know, you would have to reapply your SPF factor in a couple of hours from the moment that you wear for the first time, and when you're already wearing your makeup, it's quite complicated to go on top of it with a sun protection factor, which is might give to the ones wearing it this false sense of protection. Even though I know that there are some other ways to apply a SPF with a spray, it isn't the same as if you would be using a regular sunblock on your skin. So my advice would be to try to find a primer with a higher SPF factor. I do know for a fact that MAC has one which is called Face Protection SPF 50, which of course would give you a slightly more protection than the SPF 15. However, after a while you would have to reapply the sun protection factor on your face. So I would strongly advise to seek for other types of protection. This could be hats or like an umbrella, or just like seeking the shade every other time, okay? Okay, now I'm going to apply this on my face. No more waiting anymore, okay? Let's go. So there's nowhere saying shake it well, but again, I'm gonna shake it well, anyhow. Yeah, so let's see it. I didn't buy a pump because I thought I had already a pump at home in my own makeup stash, but that's not the case. No problem. As I've done before, I'm gonna use this kind of brush to do the foundation application. Why? Because this is a stippling brush which gives me a lot of control of the coverage factor, of the beautiful coverage factor of any foundation. And because I want to try to create sheer and higher coverage in places that I need it, that's why I'm gonna use this brush, okay? As a matter of fact, I used to work for MAC Cosmetics for 12 years and I had an amazing career and great opportunities. So this foundation was my go-to foundation for quite a while. I must confess that I didn't fall in love with this product right from the beginning, but I think it was because I wasn't applying it in the proper way. If you would have to use a regular foundation brush like the one that I'm showing to you right now, the coverage would be way too high. So for me, I always find I felt like the finishing was kind of overly done, which is definitely not the kind of finish that I wanted to. But throughout those 12 years, I did figure out how to work better with this foundation. One of the ways that I like to use this foundation for myself and also for my geeks is by mixing this foundation with the Studio Face Somebody from MAC Cosmetics as well. And another product that I like to mix this product into is the Mixing Medium Face Somebody, which is also shown here on this image, which is basically the same formula as the Face Somebody foundation, but then colorless, which makes it very convenient to play with transparency with any kind of foundation that you want to, but especially the ones from MAC Cosmetics itself. Why? Because the formulas, they are the same and they really work together. So let's go for it. Like the other videos that I've done before of other foundation reviews, I'm not going to apply foundation on this area, which I always applied, because I do want to see how much is this matching my skin tone and how much of the oxidation that's going to appear or occur throughout the day. So that you know, I did use MAC Cosmetics matching technology on their website to find the right skin tone, for my color. But then I came out with the NW30, and I know for a fact that NW30, it's a color that matches my skin tone perfectly in winter time, when I definitely don't get any sun on my face or any kind of solarium or whatsoever. So I was stubborn enough to stick with my own experience with this product, and I did order the NW33, which I still think is the best matching for my skin tone. For what I can tell right now, it does look slightly darker than my skin shade, but nothing too extreme. I think if I would buy the NW30, probably would match more perfectly with my skin tone at this moment. But we are today on the 28th of March, so it's actually officially spring, and hopefully we're gonna have sunny days coming up, and my skin will be slightly thinner than what it is right now. So that's why I did choose to go for a darker foundation than the advice that I got from the matching color technology from Mac's website. I still have this left on my palette. As you can see, I used not really a lot, and I was able to create already nice coverage. When it comes to finish, I don't know, it's because I'm very used to this foundation. It is a foundation that appeals to me when it comes to the finishing and the way your skin looks like after using this foundation. However, when you apply this with a beauty blender, it does tend to be too much and almost towards the cakey foundation. But again, keep in mind, I'm 47 years old, and you already heard what type of skin I do have. So when it comes to my age, this old thing, you have to be careful about how much makeup put on to do not look overly done, okay? But again, this is how it is looking like. One of the things that I like about this foundation, for example, is the fact that even though I do have a transparent dorsum on the top of my nose where you can see the veins, it is already creating more coverage than I had achieved with the other foundations. So right now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna try to build up more coverage over here. So this is how the foundation is looking like on itself, without any concealer, without any powder, contouring, highlight whatsoever, just the foundation on itself. I'm gonna now apply some concealer, some powder, and I'm gonna slightly contour my face a little bit, so hold on, okay? If you wanna see all the products that I'm wearing here, which I'm not mentioning in the video, you can actually check on the description below. They're all listed down here for you. I'm gonna set with a transparent setting powder. And the reason why I've chosen to work with a transparent setting powder instead, for example, a blotting powder, is because I don't want to overly mattify this foundation more than already it is. So that's why. Alright. So this is how my skin is looking like right after the foundation application. As you could see, I don't know if I added for you to see it, but I did apply some powder. I did contour slightly my face a little bit, my nose as well. I didn't go too crazy today, like carving my face with the contouring and highlight. And I did finish it up everything using the setting spray from NYX Cosmetics in the matte finish. So for what I can tell right now, and again, it might be because of the fact that I'm very familiar with this foundation. I do like a lot this foundation. I cannot hide it from you. It wouldn't be fair and wouldn't be honest of me if I would have to be here faking a reaction about a foundation that I'm really very comfortable and very used to wear. So for what I can tell right now, I'm still very satisfied with the final results just right now, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna record more content. I'm gonna go throughout my day. I will do some things off camera, which is going to be probably like some householding, like cleaning, shopping, maybe eventually cooking something, walking my dog. And by the end of the day, I'll be reading all the claims of the product, giving my own input about my own experience wearing this product, to see if it's gonna match with the claims that they told us. And I'll be giving some scores, and we're gonna figure out what is the average score of this foundation. And after that, I'll be giving my final conclusion, and I'm very curious how this is going to hold up, all right? So there's a lot for us to talk about it. Hold on, okay? Alright, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna read some of the claims of this product. These are claims that I found in their website, and I'm just gonna read them for you, okay? The Studio Fix Fluid SPF 15 foundation is a 24-hour lasting foundation that comes in 63 different shades. It provides buildable coverage ranging from medium to full, with a natural matte finish that won't settle into the lines or pores. It is lightweight, oil-free, and provides hydration all day, and it's non-acnegenic, making it suitable for all skin types. The foundation is also sweat and humidity resistant, has an SPF 15 for protection against harmful UV rays, and it is designed to reduce the appearance of pores. Well, I'll be the judge of that. No, well, I'm kidding. I think the best we can do right now is just go through the claims, and I'm gonna give my personal opinion about the claims, if it's matching my personal experience with the product, and then I'll be giving the scores for each claim, all right? I'm gonna give you some extra information about this product. It's information that actually I gathered through the 12 years that I used to work for MAC Cosmetics, but also some of the information I'm gonna share with you, they are things that I found on the internet that I searched for it. For example, this foundation, it was launched in the late 90s. This foundation must be at least 25, maybe 30 years old. But I couldn't find the precise date that this was launched. Again, this also wasn't the number of available shades when they first released this foundation. And what I can tell about the undertones of this foundation, they have cool undertones, warm undertones, and neutral undertones. My tone, it varies between NW25 and W30 and W35 when I'm on my darkest tan, which is rarely. It is also a foundation that, because it is long lasting, I would not personally wear it with a primer, because it tends to glide on top of a silicone-based primer. So like I said, I would not as quick use this foundation with a primer, unless I have someone with a funny texture on their skin, like if you have rosacea or eczema and you have different texture on the skin, then I would maybe try to make use of a primer to just even up the texture on the skin and then use this foundation. But now let's go through the claims, each claim, and I'm gonna give my personal opinion about it, and I'm gonna give already my scores about this, okay? So when it comes to coverage, it is a buildable coverage ranging from medium to full coverage. Do I believe and do I agree with this? I definitely agree. I think it is a medium, indeed, is the least that you can get it. You're not gonna get super sheer unless you mix it with any other product, like I said in the beginning of the foundation application, when I like to mix with Face and Body foundation or with the mixing medium Face and Body just to make it more transparent. But it on its own, you would not get as easy a very sheer coverage because of this property. So I agree that is definitely a buildable coverage medium to full. And for this aspect of the foundation, you're gonna have to give a 10. Finish, natural matte finish. I just have to agree with this because it's definitely a natural matte finish. As you can see, let's see, last time that I recorded something, it was about 4 hours ago, and I was recording other contents, and I did retouch around my lips because one of the contents that I was recording was based upon lipsticks. But for the rest, I haven't touched it very much. I also didn't correct anything. What you can actually see, I don't know if you can see on the camera, is that my nose has already become slightly transparent, and but it's because more of the things that I touch my face a lot. And it's also the greasiest part of my face, so it tends to glide more easily on the top of my nose. But for the rest, if you really pay attention, it's not super dewy, definitely not dewy. It's not setting, but what I can see here is a natural matte finish, and maybe this is one of the things that I like a lot of this foundation, because it has this natural matte finish. So for this, I am gonna have to give a 9. Let's not overhype, but I'm gonna give a 9 for the finishing, natural matte finish. Wear performance. Well, it says that it lasts 24 hours. I've worn this foundation in the past longer than what I'm wearing it today. The longest that I've worn this foundation was, I think, about 10 hours. Probably it was during any fashion week season, when you wake up in the morning, you do your makeup and you go and you work and you do everything you have to do and you come back home. And for what I can remember, always lasted long enough for my own taste, but it does become transparent somehow. If you don't retouch it every other time, you're gonna notice that it's going to become more transparent and more intense to glide off of your face. Another thing that I know is that it's not quite transfer proof, and I know this is not one of the claims that they have, but I just wanted to show you. I'm gonna do the test for the tissue. I'm not gonna rub it on my face, but I'm just gonna touch it. Yeah. Oh my god, I have the idea that my nose now became very, very transparent. But anyhow, on the tissue, you can see that it does transfer a bit, but it's not that crazy. If you watched other videos that I've posted before, I think was NARS Natural Radiant, it did transfer on the tissue much more easily than what happened here right now. So consider that wear performance, my honest experience through all those years wearing this foundation in different occasions, I wouldn't say that it would last 24 hours. Not in my case, not with a combined skin with the T-zone. Maybe could last up to 24 hours if somebody that would be super careful with a normal type of skin, living or performing in the perfect environment conditions. But no, 24 hours, I don't think so. I do think, for example, the Double Wear from Estée Lauder would probably perform longer than Studifix Fluid SPF 15 from MAC. And for this, when it comes to wear performance, oh my god, I'm hesitating to say it because I don't want to sound like a bitch, and I want to overhype this, and I don't want to go that people go like, oh my god, there comes the reaction of the influencer and the YouTuber. No, that's not the case. But I'm gonna have to give a 7. Am I being too harsh? I don't think so. A 7 points. Oxidation. So when it comes to oxidation, okay, let's be honest. When I applied the foundation, I think everyone could see that it was not perfectly matching my skin tone, because I did choose to buy the slightly darker color. But I do think it does oxidize a little bit, because, for example, I did go with foundation on top of this here, but I haven't gone with the foundation on top of this one, and the difference is quite high. And I haven't put any bronzer, or like I said during the makeup application, I didn't carve my face with contouring to make it too dark, so it did oxidize a little bit, but I don't think it's that crazy oxidation. So when it comes to oxidation, I think I'm gonna have to give an 8 for this, for oxidation. They say it's sweat and humidity resistant. I haven't done something too crazy today that I could notice, but again, with all my experience wearing this foundation in the past through all those years, would I agree that it is a sweat-proof and humidity-proof foundation? Not in my case, not with my oily T-zone. And believe me, I did wear this foundation in many different climates and different situations, from super cold Denmark winter times up to Mediterranean during the summer with this foundation. And I don't agree that it is sweat and humidity resistant. Like I said, not in my case, not with my experience. So for this, I think I am gonna have to give a 7. All right, skincare benefits. All-day hydration, SPF 15. That's the only thing that I read about skincare benefits. I think I would have to agree with that. All-day hydration and SPF 15. If this is a skincare benefit, I already explained to you what I think about it. I don't think a foundation with SPF 15 would ever do. I think this SPF 15 could maybe work either as against oxidation rather than protection of the face. For skincare benefits, I think I'm gonna have to give a... I agree that hydrates my skin all day, but the false idea of sun protection factor 15. So let's try to find a balance here. I think I'm gonna give a 6. Oh my god, and I'm being very harsh here. I don't think so, because I really love this foundation in general. I'm just being objective. Number of available shades. Well, there's a funny thing here about it, because on their website they sell 63 different shades, but in other partner stores such as asos.com and Zalando, they do offer 67 different shades. I think it's like 4 shades more. What would that make it? I don't understand the decision for why make it more available shades in other partner stores than on your own store. So for me, it doesn't make any sense. But again, 63 shades or 67 shades, this is a lot of shades. Well, we have to agree that MAC did step up their gains for diversity and inclusivity, and remembering the credos of MAC, which is all ages, all races, all genders, I would have to agree that this is a very inclusive range of colors. And for this, I will have to give a 10. Again, I'm just gonna have to give it 10. But then, is it vegan? No, it is not vegan. Although when you go on their website, it's written that they don't use any animal ingredients, which would immediately make them vegan. But if you search on PETA and other websites, they don't come in the category of a vegan foundation, neither a vegan brand. Is it clean? No, it is not clean. It doesn't fall into categories of clean brands. It is a cruelty-free brand. Unfortunately, it is not a cruelty-free. All skin types. Oh my god, I should have put this on the back. All skin types. Do I agree it is all skin types? Well, for what I can tell, I would agree that it's all skin types. But I do know, for example, that when you use this with somebody with a dry skin, dry dehydrated skin, it does not always look its best. So all skin types, I can only agree that for my skin types, kind of working it somehow. All right, but again, one of the things that they said is that it minimizes the appearance of pores. I don't know if you can see on the camera, I'm gonna zoom in, but I'm like, from the moment I started recording this part, I got petrified by the appearance of those, because oh my lord, they are not only super visible, Jesus, but they are looking also very clocky, if I can call it like this, and I'm not loving this. I am definitely not loving this. But anyhow, I'm not going to give any score in all skin types and things like that, because I haven't done in the other foundations that I've reviewed in the past. But let's go now, price quality. In Europe, you would pay 39 euros without a pump, and the pump you would pay 9 euros for a separated pump, and in US you would pay $39 US, and a pump in US would cost you $10 US. So considering, okay, 49 euros with the pump, let's put it like this, it is not really very expensive. I still think There are many products from cosmetics. They are quite affordable, not all of them. Some of them are quite crazy, by the way. But this foundation I do consider very, very accessible. So when it comes to price quality, I would have to give an 8.5 for this. Okay, 8.5. Now we're gonna figure it out what's going to be the average. So hold on. So I'm gonna do how I did in the past. I'm gonna remove one of the highest score and I'm gonna remove one of the lowest scores. In this case, I'm gonna remove a 10 and I'm gonna remove a 6, and that's gonna give us an average of 8.25. It's not super high, but it's not a bad score, I would think. Alright, so what is my final conclusion about this product? Would I invest in this foundation for my kid? Pause. I think that if I didn't know better, if there were not other options which would be vegan, clean and cruelty-free, then I would invest in this foundation for my kid. Why? Because I consider it very multitask. I know how to get myself around this foundation. I know how to work this foundation to most of the possibilities that you can consider doing someone's makeup. But again, I wish it was a clean, cruelty-free and vegan brand. I am a vegan person myself, and like I said, why would I treat my makeup kit differently than myself? So when it comes to this, I would not invest in this foundation for my kids. Would I invest in this foundation as a consumer? If you have combined skin, if you have enough skills to play with the coverage aspect of this foundation and understanding climates and when and where you're gonna wear this, which now thinking about it, seems like you have to know a lot to use this foundation. And if you don't mind investing your money into a non-clean, cruelty-free and vegan brand, then I would invest in this foundation, but otherwise I would not invest in this foundation. Yeah, but it's still, maybe right now doing this final conclusion on this foundation, I do have mixed feelings. I wasn't expecting to have those mixed feelings, because like I said, this was for many years, for at least 12 years, my go-to all-around foundation. But it's like I explained on my video, I do really wish there would be somehow a way to turn their heads and make this product a clean, vegan and cruelty-free product. But again, maybe I'm just too ambitious to this. Maybe it's really complicated to turn MAC Cosmetics, that mogul of makeup artistry, into a clean, cruelty-free and vegan brand in 2023 or whenever. But again, I wish I would have given a better score to this foundation. Like I said, I do have mixed feelings. It's kind of a love-hate. I love it, but I'm very frustrated that this haven't been improved to the point of becoming vegan, clean and cruelty-free, to the point of reaching out to the profile of the consumers of nowadays. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys are enjoying watching this video as much as I enjoy making it. And please remember to like and share this video. It does help me with the algorithm and does help to push my videos towards a larger audience. And if you want to, and believe me, I would appreciate it so much. It would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to my channel, alright? Thank you so much again for all your time, love and support, and I see you all again in another video, alright? Bye bye!